So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is a laptop I got from a friend. My brother also got one, and I'll tell you what I have done with it. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it not like cosmetically. It's not that in good shape actually. See, the L and the Dell is missing. It's pretty banged up. Actually, I have no idea what port this is because I don't know what that is. That's damaged, but that's the only thing that's really wrong with this laptop. So, this is a Windows 7 laptop. It has a first generation Core i5. It's the base of this processor I think is 2.2 and a boost of 2.5. I'm not exactly sure. I know the boost is right, but I'm not sure about the base clock of what I said. So don't take my word on that. But anyways, it came with a 500 gig hard drive. It was like this laptop usually comes with a 320 gig, so obviously it was upgraded. It was upgraded to a 500 gig WD Blue 7200 RPM. So it's like your average hard drive today, but of course this computer was made in 2010, so there was not SSDs and that kind of stuff, as you know. So it came with 3 gigs of RAM, 1300 megahertz. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 3 is sort of an odd number, so it had one 1 gig stick and then a 2 gig stick. So that's how, because it has 2 slots, obviously. But let me just show you the inside of this because it's really upgradable before I show you just the laptop in general. Yeah, it has an Ethernet jack, RJ45, 2 USB 2.0. I don't know what that is. And then it has a DVD drive right here, so you can plug in a DVD and play that. And then on the other side, it has 2 more USB 2.0s, a VGA port. This is for charging. That's a 4-pin FireWire, I think. Mic in, headphone out, SD card, and then that's some sort of expandability option there. And then really on the bottom, nothing else. There's nothing in the back. Just this is. I want to mention this. That this is a docking port for the laptop. So I really love these laptops, and if I was someone who wanted a laptop today, I would take this laptop if it was good spec over like a lighter laptop, because I just love the upgradability of things. They have all the ports you would ever need, and you can just open the bottom and upgrade the RAM. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and open the bottom, because I was talking about, as you might know, a lot of these old laptops had really good expandability to where you could just upgrade the RAM or maybe the hard drive very easily by just opening up the bottom. See, I got 1 screw. I'm taking out 1 screw, and it gives me access to all this. So in the bottom here, it gives you access to RAM, it gives you access to the hard drive, and some other stuff that you maybe would want to change, like the Wi-Fi card right here. So obviously you can just, like, if it came with 3 gigs, you can pop in some new RAM or pop in an SSD. That's what I really love about these laptops, and even compared to some other laptops made at the time, to where laptops were starting to try to be thinner maybe, and so for a while most laptops had the RAM upgrade, but like a previous laptop, a Dell Vostro that my brother had, the hard drive wasn't accessible like this. So that's a good thing about this one, that the hard drive is accessible for you to replace right here, because for his it was like all the way under the motherboard and everything, so he had to take the whole laptop apart to put in an SSD. So actually what I've done is I've put in 8 gigabytes of RAM that from the Dell Vostro, that from that old Dell Vostro, and then I have kept the 500 gig hard drive, because obviously I'm not gonna go buy an SSD. The only reason I installed this is because I had it lying around. It was 1300 megahertz. It was DDR3, just like the Dell Vostro, so it worked in here. So it's 8 gigs of RAM we have there. So really, what I was trying to say about how I would like this better than a new laptop is because of the size. Well, I would rather have an old upgradable laptop that I could use more as a PC at home, instead of a thin and light laptop that you couldn't upgrade. Because really having that upgradability in these laptops is just an amazing thing. Because if you buy a laptop with 4 gigabytes of RAM, you obviously in like a few years that's just gonna be, it's not gonna be a good experience. As I was saying, you want to be able to upgrade this RAM, and you want to be able to you'll get that better performance out of this because, it's just part of this is keeping your laptop forever. Like, if I had the choice, I would keep my laptop forever. Like, I would take this laptop over a newer laptop because I would like to be able to have it for a while. And the reason, like, you might want to give up on a laptop like this is because of, like, it's unsupported. So one thing about this laptop is because it's a first generation Core i5, they don't have new drivers for it anymore, so you can't play like some of the newer games because of that. So that's just a limitation of this for playing games on here. So that's one reason why you would want to upgrade. But wouldn't you love to have your laptop till you needed to upgrade? Like, you can install a new CPU maybe, or until like it just got where you couldn't install a new CPU, where like the newest one that was supported just wasn't good enough. That's when you want to get a new laptop. But if all laptops were like this today, I would love that, because I would get a laptop, keep it for like 5 years, and then when I need to upgrade, I would upgrade. Forgot to mention that I also upgraded this from Windows 7 Pro to Windows 10 Pro. So some of the main reasons, the few reasons why I upgraded, why I didn't just keep it on that older operating system, because obviously it's going to run better on the older operating system. The first reason was because I actually couldn't get in, because since I got this from someone else, I didn't know the password of the computer, and usually there's a way to bypass this. There's a method to bypass it, but since this was an administrator account on this laptop, you can't bypass it. And then the second reason I had to upgrade, I didn't have a choice, is because this was on the 32-bit version of Windows. And the 32-bit version only allows up to 4 gigabytes of RAM. So if I wanted to go past 4, I would have to get the 64-bit version. I had a lot of trouble upgrading it because what had happened is this hard drive was only read-only. So I could not, I was having a really hard time wiping it. I had to do a fresh install of Windows to use the full 8 gigs of RAM. But anyways, I had a really hard time doing a fresh install is because, the hard drive, it did not show up when you were in Windows. I had it plugged in through a USB adapter, right? In the other laptop that we got, and it just wouldn't show up. It would show up in Disk Manager, but you couldn't unallocate. So you couldn't unallocate wipe the hard drive inside of Disk Manager because it was only read-only, so I couldn't do anything. I couldn't wipe it. I even tried getting on my Chromebook, but then it told me read-only. I couldn't reformat it or anything, so I ended up having to get on a Mac, and it worked on the Mac where I got in their Disk Manager, and I was able to reformat it to exFAT because they whatever the Windows standard format is, it's Windows, so they're not gonna let me format that. So I got it to exFAT, reformat it to exFAT, and I was able to wipe the drive, so that way I could get it back in here. And I can install Windows. You might be thinking, why didn't you don't have to wipe the drive? That's an option you can choose. Well, when you're installing Windows, I actually tried doing that, not wiping the drive, because I was having a hard time wiping it in the first place. And I tried to install Windows, but it didn't work. There was a lot of error codes, and I wasn't able to do that because it was read-only. I couldn't wipe it. Well, it seems like I was able to wipe it, but I just couldn't get Windows working. So one of the things about these old laptops is, you can't install a graphics card. Obviously, it's a laptop, so you can't get dedicated graphics after you've already bought it. So it's useful installing a new CPU in a computer like this because you can get better performance and that kind of stuff. But the thing about this, so the motherboard had a certain list of CPUs that it supported, but I couldn't. I want to get one with 4 cores, 8 threads, right? I was thinking about doing that, but I actually couldn't because the ones with 4 cores and 8 threads, they were i7s. They didn't have integrated graphics. So this processor is integrated graphics, right? So there's no onboard graphics or whatever inside the laptop. So I had no choice but to get graphics, a CPU with integrated graphics, even though that CPU was supported. So that's one of the things you got to look out here. If you see a support list for the motherboard, just make sure it has integrated graphics if your board does not have dedicated graphics. Really, this thing is an awesome laptop that could be used. You could take any laptop like this and turn it into something new by installing an SSD, by upgrading the RAM, and by installing Windows 10. So I'm just going to show you guys what I've done to it here, because I've installed Windows 10 Pro, and here I had wiped the drive. Show you what kind of performance I'm getting. Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you the specs in a second, but the performance I'm having. But I forgot to mention that I actually got the charger for this from the Dell Vostro I was mentioning earlier. So I took the RAM and the charger from the Dell Vostro. So um, here is the charger right here. So since they're both 65 watt chargers, I was able to use the charger from the Dell Vostro for this. So I'm just going to open this up and I'm going to boot it up and show you guys the performance of this. Okay, as you can see here, this is Windows 10. So I upgraded it from Windows 7. So Windows 7, that's Core 5, and I got it on Windows 10 Pro, so I can actually show you guys that real quick. I just got like Minecraft installed on here, so let's just see how it runs. So here's I got the specs up, so you can see the specs here. It's an Intel Core i5 M430, and as you can see, the base is 2.27 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, and then it's on 64-bit operating system, like I mentioned earlier. It was on 32-bit Windows 7, but since I had a fresh install, it went 64-bit. And then right there you go, Windows 10 Pro. So that's really nice. So right now I'm actually opening Badline Client because I tried earlier. I tried running Minecraft and I was getting like 8 FPS. So that's why I'm gonna be using a client on this, and you can get pretty okay FPS. So you guys just have to see how this runs. I'm gonna be running it with Optifine, and this what a client does, it just gives it FPS boost and that kind of stuff. So I'll be back when this gets into Minecraft. As I'm launching this, the loading times are pretty slow, but this is because I've got a hard drive in here. Because if you were to install an SSD, this would launch a lot faster. Because right now this is taking a while to launch. So even with a client, I'm getting like 14 FPS. So I mean, it's runnable, right? But my main limit here with this computer is the fact that the CPU is so bad. It only goes up to like 2.5, which is obviously extremely bad. So really, if I could get a new CPU that had these same specs, that had higher cache, and then it would just have like 3.5. I could get a CPU like that, right? But then it's like I'm just not really gonna buy a CPU for this because I have a computer. But like if you wanted to, you would definitely see a huge like jump in performance. Like after you've installed an SSD and then a new CPU, you would definitely get like way better performance than this. So maybe if you did all those things, like I said, you could get like probably at least like 60 FPS with an SSD upgrade, a new CPU. In general, I would definitely recommend if you're gonna get it and you have a gaming computer, maybe install Linux on it and install some apps like that, or maybe just do some web browsing, because as you can see, we're not getting that good of FPS. But if you don't have a PC, maybe you have a Chromebook, you want to play games like this, then you could install a new CPU, upgrade the RAM, get an SSD, and you would definitely get way better performance. It'll be manageable. And just hope that you get a better computer than I did. Yeah, so if you like this video, then please subscribe, and for more videos like this, I'll be posting once a week, and stay tuned because I'm gonna have me building my PC. My CPU is supposed to be here it's supposed to be at the warehouse on January 11th, so I'm recording this on January 6th, and then it should be to me in that week. So be ready. Yeah, just be ready for me to do a live stream building that PC, and then I'll post a video on it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.